Why? I was a bit unhinged in this vlog and I read like 7 books. And then she's like, oh, you mean this? And she just takes out her eye. So everything is just ugh to me. This was just a no for me. I barely liked the first. I think this is going to be a 2-star week. I had a colonoscopy that was far more better. Hey guys, what's up? It's Natasha and welcome back to this week's video. In this vlog, you will get updates from a bit of week 2 to 3 and today, obviously, which is start of week 4 for Readathon. If you want to know anything about this Readathon, I'll have everything linked down below, as well as the channels of the creators. I was a bit unhinged in this vlog and I read like 7 books. So yeah, let's just go through the list of the books that I read. So starting off, I read The Socialite by Ciesielski. I'm still not sure. I tried. You know, when you listen to an audiobook and they say, this is The Socialite by this person, and I zone that out because at this point in time, I'm just focused on the story. This is a story about a girl who is going to Nazi-occupied Paris, where she is trying to save her sister from the throes of her boyfriend, who is also a Nazi. And while she is trying to save her sister, she ropes in the help of a Scotsman who is secretly employed by her father, the main character's father, to bring these two back to England, but without them knowing anything. And if he succeeds, he will be paid for his efforts. Then I read 4 by Veronica Roth, which is a novella in the Divergent series. And essentially this follows 4, how he decided that he was going to go to Dauntless instead of staying with Abnegation because he doesn't want to be with his father who is abusive, and the secrets he learns while he's in Dauntless. Then I read an arc which is called When the Sky Falls by B.R. Spangler. This is a post-apocalyptic story about a family who is running from this dust cloud that descended upon them that is kind of toxic. So they are trying to get to a mall so that they can be safe, but things happen along the way towards that mall. And yeah, it's just chaos that ensues. Then I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jenette McCurdy, and this is the story of Jenette McCurdy, of how she became the child star that we know in iCarly, and the issues that resulted not just when she was a child actor, but the relationship she had with her mom as well as her family, and just a whole bunch of horrid things that happened to her during this time. Then I read The Eternal Shadow by Shameez. I'm not going to try and pronounce the surname because I have tried and can't. It is the 2nd book in the Celine trilogy series, and we follow Cassia, how she is trying to learn the magic that she was taught in the 1st book. And while she's doing that, she is captured because apparently she can't be using magic in our world. So she's transferred back to Celine, and then it's just an adventure of her being reunited with her friends and them trying to kill the king who essentially captured her in the first place. Then I read Die Volume 2, which is a graphic novel about a group of kids who were sucked into this RPG kind of game when they were younger, and then they disappeared. Years later they returned, but one of the main friends is not with them anymore, and these people have like severe trauma from when they came back from this world. And so I think it's 2 or 3 decades later, they receive this die and they are sucked back into this world where they are trying to get back because their life is horrible, like it's turned upside down, and they are trying to save their marriages or trying to save their relationship with their children or family, but they can't because they have to play through this game to get back out there. And then the last book I read was Like It Never Was by Faith Gardner, and this follows a girl named Jolene, and she pulls a prank on one of her friends in school, which turns horrid. The friend ends up being amputated in the leg as well as missing an eye due to a car crash from this prank. Years later, she runs into this friend again, and it's just this whole emotional stirring of the guilt that she has kept because she never told her, hey, I was the cause of your accident. And yeah, it's just her spiraling out of control. Jolene trying to figure out, should she be telling this friend that she caused the accident, or should she keep quiet and live with the guilt? Those are all the books that I read. Without me blabbering anymore, let's just jump right into the video.
We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't wire to what doesn't.
Happy Saturday, everyone. It is Saturday, yeah. Anyway, I finished 2 books this weekend so far. We had a public holiday yesterday, so I finished The Socialite. You know, there wasn't really great things happening. It was kind of like a historical fake dating, like these two had to get together because of some things, and then there were secrets involved, so when the secrets came out they broke up, that kind of thing. It was entertaining to read about the Second World War, but at the same time I was just like, okay. Like, just okay. And then I finished 4 just now. I couldn't care less. I gave it a 2-star. I barely give 2 stars, and I barely give 1 stars. Like, those are reserved for books that I just couldn't care about. And yeah, this was, I think it's between a 1 and a 2-star, but I'm just glad I'm done with the series. I'm glad this is off my 24 books to read for 2024. Okay, yeah. If I knew I should be reading 4, like before the first book, and then after the first book, and then after the 3rd book, that would make a lot more sense. But I didn't, and so everything is just ugh to me. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it in the future, but the series was really not my favorite. I'm usually a big fan of dystopian series, but this was just a no for me. The first one started out strong, and the second one was like, okay, yeah, I can see where we're going, and then the third one was just a mess on its own. So anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. Let's see. The problem is I'm at my parents and I don't have all the books, physical books, and they're not on my Kindle. Oh wait, I have a few other books that I need to read. The one is When the Sky Falls. I can read that one. I don't know if I'm in the mood for that one though. I'm in the mood for an audiobook. I have a novel love story that I can read. I also have Nevermore that I can listen to. I'm trying to think. I don't have the audio for everything. But I also need to read a dystopian book before the 14th. It's the 10th today. I don't know. I think I'm in a slump, guys, and this is horrible. The lighting is horrible as well. Could you? I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'll pick up something else.
Give up, let it go. Well, we fell apart just in time. You say at least it was worth the try.
Hello everyone. I can't remember the last time I updated you. I think it was on Saturday. So I decided to read this arc, When the Sky Falls, and yeah, I'm having trouble like moving through it. This is why I don't read descriptions. The description gave away like the first 50% of the book, of which I'm sure, because currently I'm at like 20% of the book, and things are still happening that were explained in the description. So I'm thinking part 2 is where things really kick off. I don't know where I am. The dialogue is weird. Like, there's a lot of telling and not showing. Like, for example, this one woman told our main character, I can't even remember what's her name, Emily. I think her name is Emily. Anyway, so Emily says, where's my sister? I can't find my sister. And then the woman who helped her, she was like, oh, she's in the play area. And Emily's like, oh, I forgot they kind of had like a jungle gym and stuff for the kids then. I'm like, I did, okay. Why was that put in there? Why? Things aren't clicking together and it's annoying me. No, the dialogue's not working with the story. And the story sounds interesting, but I'm not feeling it. And I don't want a DNF. But at the same time, I'm like, this is not my favorite. I don't know. I'll see if I can get through it further. The review has to be up tomorrow on NetGalley, but I have a book tour on the 16th, which is Thursday. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know. It's difficult to get through this book. So I think I'm gonna read a bit of this book, see how far I can get, see if it is for me. Because part 2 is, holy crap, on just before chapter 23. I'm only on chapter 6 right now. So, okay, cool. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I don't know why I said it like that, and I don't even know why I'm treating this as a... Please do ignore the washing machine. Why I'm treating this as a cooking show. It's not. But it's just a pop on to let you know. I'm making butter chicken, but dairy-free butter chicken, so I don't know. Enjoy the ride. Look at this. This is perfection. With a bit of rice. There we go. I think this is gonna go down well. Okay, so while the chicken is cooking, I'm just gonna come on here and let you all know, update on one of the books that I read. I read the book, I forgot what it's called now, When the Sky Falls. And I didn't like it. I'm sorry to say it. I really didn't like it. It's another 2-star in this video. I didn't like it. Let's put it like that. Because the book is separated between part 1 and part 2. Part 1 deals with one character and part 2 deals with another character. But there's a lot of telling in this book and not a lot of showing. Like, we are getting told that things are happening. And I've mentioned this yesterday of, you know, just random things that are happening that it's just being told to us. The ending of part 1 was so rushed. There's no answers after part 1 or anything. It's just like the thing ended abruptly, and then we move on to part 2, which is like 15 years later. But it doesn't say it's 15 years later, it just says part 2, and our main character from part 1 is severely older now, and she's complaining because she's got wrinkles and she's got grey hair, and I'm like, what is happening? I saw someone saying in a review that it's as if the author was just, he had an idea and then that idea just formed multiple ideas and they didn't know where to go with the story, and it's a mess. Okay, it's just a mess. I would have thought it would have been well executed if if the author probably broke it down in 2 categories or 2 books. Like the first book, we get told from this perspective of how things were fine, and then the fog came, and then, you know, a fight for survival. But the fight for survival was like 2 days in a mall. And then the father rocked up and he's like, it's my fault, so I'm just gonna go. Anyway, these are minor spoilers, so I'm sorry about that. And then we never get an explanation as to what the father decided to do. Like, he tells us he's gonna fix it, but he doesn't say how. But now we just have to be okay with it. And I was like, okay. And then in part 2, Sammy is in love with this guy called Declan. We are told she has been in love with him for the majority of years. She's almost 18. She has to choose someone to spend her days with, her life with. She's going to get married. And it's being told to us. Then we get told they are outsiders. They are bad guys that live in the fog, kind of like zombies. but we don't see their perspective. We don't see how bad they actually are, what they are doing to be bad. We are just told the outsiders are bad because they kidnapped a child. And obviously kidnapping is not good, but at the same time I was just like, okay, they need more meat on their bones. The outsiders are just like these wrinkly type of skeletons with streaks of meat to it because they have no characteristics. So if you are new to dystopian, maybe you'll like this. But for those of you who have dabbled in dystopian and you really like dystopian, don't pick this book up. That's unfortunate, but anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so yesterday my best friend and I started The Eternal Shadow by the South African author. And I'm struggling with this book, guys. I'm really struggling with this book. Currently, I'm on, I think, 20-ish% of this. Oh, I've read 30% so far. Listen, there are some things in here that I'm just like, I'm not vibing. If for someone who has read this book, if you've read I think it's chapter 10, like, what was that ending? Why was this included? I did not feel comfortable. So my bestie and I are just like, how do we feel about this book? And I was like, you know, couldn't actually care. I'm at the point where I actually just want to DNF it because, yeah, I don't feel any inkling towards picking this book up. I don't feel any inkling to read it further. Things are happening and I'm just like, couldn't care. Really, I couldn't care. So I'm going to see how she feels about this book. We've already decided that we're not going to read the third book because A, a lot of people have been disappointed in the book. And B, I don't like this book. I barely like the first book. So anyway, look, the first book was fine. It wasn't great, but I think I gave it 4-star on Goodreads, but it's kind of like a 3-star now that I think about it. But this one is leaning towards a 1 or a 2-star because I just can't. The dialogue flow is weird. Like, there was this point in time where one of the characters, he was talking to the other main characters and he's like, oh no, don't worry about her, she's forgiven you for almost killing her. Like, I'm sure you can speak for someone else in that situation, but anyway. And then he was like, I think she has a crush on you. The 2 lines of that discussion just went like this, like, okay. What do you want me to do with that tidbit of information? I don't know, it's so weird. There's only one character in this book that's actually saving this book right now, and he's like this morally grey kind of character, but you know, not even he is gonna make up for everything else. I don't want to be mean, I'm not enjoying this book. So anyway, we'll see if I finish reading the chapters for today because we have to read until chapter 18. Yeah, I'm on chapter 12 right now. So after that, we will have a discussion tonight, my bestie and I, and then we'll see how it goes. But for now, not vibing. I'm really not vibing. Okay, so I did not read, I'm so sorry, the chapters that we had to read for today. I was focusing on the previous book you saw, so what a letdown. Anyway, this is also a very big letdown. I think this is going to be a 2-star week for me. Like I say, I'm not really interested in this book and I'm close to DNFing it because I just couldn't care. But at the same time, it's a buddy read and I don't want to let my bestie down. Maybe I should just push through. Yeah, I think I'm going to push through for a few more chapters, see where we go with this. But the problem is, one of the characters' mothers, she's very lovable towards her one child, but she treats her other child like a slave. Like, she commands him to do this, and there's the sire bond thing in this book. So when you're sire to your mother, for example, how this character is, and she commands you to stay up all night and keep watch, you have no other choice but to do it. And I'm just like, why? There was also a few parts as well between Cassia, our main character, and her guy best friend that, I don't know, they had this weird interaction that she has to behave herself. That's what he told her, and because he was lying next to her, and she's like, don't worry, it was a one-time thing. And he's like, okay, good. And I'm like, could you let it go? He continues to make these under the belt innuendos, and I'm just like, please stop, okay? It's not attractive, it's not funny. Yeah, I'm having a hard time picking that one up. We'll see while I read if anything happens or if anything exciting happens. Otherwise, I'm just gonna DNF and tell my bestie sorry. I tried. I pushed through
with Vampire Academy for you, but I cannot push through with this book as well.
Hello everyone. I think the last time I updated you was on Wednesday when I was making butter chicken. Sorry, that was my bestie. It turned out very nice. I really enjoyed it. The Eternal Shadow was not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna dive deep into the reasons why. I think I've said a lot that I wanted to say. It's just, it wasn't for me. I had a colonoscopy that was far more better than this book, and I feel like that's so mean, but that's how I feel about this book. I really didn't enjoy it. So yeah, from the characters who acted childish to the way things were written, and it was all just it wasn't great. So I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's rounded up to a 3 on Goodreads. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave it. With that being said, let's jump into the 4th book that I read this week, which is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jenette McCurdy. This was a book that I seriously had to finish yesterday because I realized yesterday that we had our book club meeting last night and I didn't read the book. And I'm glad I did. I am not a memoirs kind of girly. Like, I really, if it's a memoir, an autobiography or biography, I'm just like, I don't like the way the stories are told. But with Jenette McCurdy's story, it was so entertaining to listen to because I listened to it. And the way things were written, kind of like in a childlike manner, and things were just, you could hear the progressiveness in her maturity the more the book went on. And wow, just the things she went through kind of crashed my childhood because I was one of those people who grew up with iCarly. I'm sorry, there's something... Oh, it's just a cable. It keeps on sinking under my foot and then I'm like, what am I stepping on? But yeah, the things she went through was just, it's crazy to read about. And I thought all the names in the book were real, but unfortunately, like I did a deep dive and I saw that most of the boyfriends' names were also changed, you know, lawsuits and stuff. So it was hard to read. It was really difficult to listen to how her mom treated her, and I can't rate it. It's a person's life experience. You can't rate those kind of things. But the perfectionist in me did not want to rate the book, so I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. But like I say, it's something you can't rate. You can't rate a person's emotional trauma. That's what I read. You're all caught up now, and the next book I'm reading is Die Volume 2. Not sure who wrote it. Kieron Gillen. It's very interesting to read. Like, there are some things that, because I'm not used to comic books or graphic novels or anything, it bothers my brain a bit because there's no rhyme or reason sometimes with some things, and you're not always deep in a character's thoughts. Yes, you may get these snippets of what they say, they think and everything, but other than that, it's just you inspecting the area around it and reading some words. And I think that's what I like about comic books, because it's so fast flowing and it's got like pictures and stuff, so you know. But there was one part that this one character, his name's Chuck. He's not a very likable character. Like, I don't like him at all. He's one of those, oh, I've made it so I can be how do I say this nicely? he just thinks everyone owes him something. Let's just put it like that. And he goes and he slays one of these, I can't remember what it's called, but because he and one of his friends have been in the desert for a long time, they don't have meat, they don't have water, they don't have anything, so they're really living on whatever they can find in the desert. And when this thing attacks, I think they call it Titan, when this thing attacks, he slays it, and then he's like, now eat, the great hunter has brought you meat, vegetarians consume, you have nothing to lose but your iron deficiency. And I was like, that's so funny. So anyway, not to pick on vegetarians or anything, I mean, it was just a funny moment in time. But yeah, I'm reading that right now. I probably will be finished with it this afternoon. I have to make dinner, but I don't know what. I only have mince and stuff left, so I'm gonna try and figure out what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe mince pies. That actually sounds good. But then I have to make the dough as well. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. How's the sub? Happy Saturday, everyone. I lost a nail. Anyway, not the point I'm trying to make. I did finish Die Volume 2 yesterday. Really enjoyed it. It was a fun read. There were parts in the book that, you know, made me laugh. There's also a part in the book where the good guy is slowly turning into the bad guy, and I really enjoy that kind of narrative. If it's going to continue in that trajectory. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's getting very interesting. I might dive into the next few books very soon because I feel like the first book I read was in May, and now only reading it in August, kind of like, because it's RPG, it's still very confusing to me. It's also very interlinked with fantasy and stuff, so yeah, it's got a lot of world building, and I was just like, I can't remember what happened, but I'm just going with the flow. Eventually I figured out, you know, where we were and whatnot and all that, but it's fine. I think I'm just gonna do it like once a month because I think now there's only 2 left. I think it's a 4-volume graphic novel thing. Is it a graphic novel or comic book? I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, just so that I can remember what's happening. But anyway, I just chilled for the rest of the day. You would have seen I got a Pokeball. That was the first time I've had a Pokeball ever, and can confirm it was really nice. Because I was really in the mood for sushi, and then my husband got a sub from like a restaurant next to the place where we usually get sushi. And then I looked at the menu and I was like, you know, I usually get the same old because the platter I usually take has enough for me. And once I did take a sushi bowl that, or not a sushi bowl, but a sushi platter that didn't have a lot, and I was super hungry afterwards, but I decided to venture out on the menu and take a salmon poke bowl, and it was really nice. So I didn't read yesterday after finishing Die Volume 2, and I've been chilling at home ever since. I woke up this morning, played The Sims, watched Friends. I'm on season 10 right now of my 3rd rewatch, I believe. So, you know, it's good to have a comfort show. I actually wanted to pivot to Modern Family because I've never seen Modern Family. I've seen snippets of it, but never the whole series. And if that's going to become one of my new comfort shows, that would be kind of great. Anyway, but then I decided maybe I should read for a bit because it's weekend. Tomorrow there's not going to be time to do any reading. So I picked up Like It Never Was by Faith Gardner. I also have a credit on Audible, which I decided I was going to use. I picked up that book because it's part of the books that are on obviously the Readathon table. And yeah, I don't know what I expected. I'm only on 7%, so I can't say a lot, but I did expect a more mystery kind of thing. I think could it be a thriller? I don't even know. I think it is a thriller maybe, where you know what this person did, but the other person doesn't know that it's this person that did it. You know, that kind of thing. You were told from the beginning what she did wrong, and then the person that she scared or whatever, or almost caused her death, they don't know it's her. So I'm assuming you're following from the guilty person's perspective and you're building up to the reveal of what's going to happen, or this person always knew and they are haunting the guilty person. I'm saying guilty because, you know, if you jump out in front of a car and the car swerves, it's kind of I don't know, because it's hard to explain, because I don't know the rules in other countries, but in South Africa, we have a rule that says you are up for manslaughter if you hit a pedestrian. So whether that pedestrian was walking over the road or whatever, it is your fault because you weren't looking out for that person. You weren't aware of your surroundings, basically. I don't know if it still is like that, but the rules from when I was doing my license and stuff, that was the rules. If pedestrian jumps in front of you, even though you're driving on the highway, if you drive over them or if you hit them, you are up for manslaughter if they die. So yeah, it's interesting to read. But anyway, I'll update you when I get further. I'm only on chapter 7 right now. That's pretty cool. I don't know why I just kept the camera like that. Sorry. It's also a very fast read, so I'm listening to it on audio. I'm listening to it on 2.5 speed. 2.5 speed. And it says I'll be done in around 3.5 hours, so.
I know you feel like you want me, and I guess in a way you do. Holding my breath, unraveling emotions. I need some space to think this through. Call me all night long, try to give you hints
Monday, everyone. I don't know why I'm so happy it's Monday, but it's Monday. Anyway, just a little bit of an update on Like It Never Was. I've read up until 48% on Saturday. Yesterday I didn't get any reading done whatsoever. It was such a busy day. But anyway, so yeah, till late at night, listened to Like It Never Was and read. I did both. I don't even know why I'm explaining myself to you. And what I can say about this book so far is the narrator, Jolene, is very... What is the word I'm looking for? She's not trustworthy. You are doubting her sanity in this book. Like, is she really seeing things, or is it her mind playing things? And she's not a very likable character at all. I don't know how to explain this without giving anything away, but like she questions everything that everyone does, and the only person she actually relates to is this woman she's assisting currently, who's like a poet, but she can't find anything from this person on Google. And it just makes me think, like, who is this person exactly? Because her dad knows the person she's working for. He organized this work for her, and I'm just thinking, is someone crazy? Is this person actually not alive? Or what is happening? And then the girl that she's trying to run away from, like, she caused an accident that resulted in this girl losing her eye and her leg. She popped up in this town where our main character Jolene is now. And she's also very out there, but not like, hey, I'm very outgoing and whatnot. No, she's actually, her moods switch so quickly. And apparently, according to Jolene, she's been like this since high school. But from what I can gather, we can't trust Jolene's perspective. And yeah, it's very interesting to read, but I don't like her as a character. She's not a very relatable character. One would think with, not horrors, but thrillers and those kinds of things, that you would write about a relatable character. But I think Faith Gardner is writing more of a character that you can see slowly spiraling into madness. I could be wrong. Oh, there was this one point, this book is sometimes very gruesome. Like, not in a mean way, like when this girl, because she lost her eye, she's got like a glass eye or something. I think it's on the left side. And then she talks to Jolene, and then she's like, oh, you mean this? And she just takes out her eye. And I was like, ew. The description is said here. Let me just go to my highlights to read it to you. But I was like, oh, this is gross. It says she pushed her eyeball back into its socket. It makes this faintest little slurp of a sound, the fart of a fairy. And I was like, oh, why is that so funny but so gross at the same time? Let me get some coffee and let me finish this book while I work.
Described what was left of him as human stew. Flesh slipped off the bones, internal organs fled into the water, and that's how Suzanne thought that off.
I just ate. And so we end Like It Never Was. I just finished it like 2 minutes ago. I enjoyed the story. I'm giving it 4 stars. It was intriguing to read about. It was intriguing to see the madness unfold with this character and how, you know, they question everything they do, and because they are all such an unreliable character, it was very who's right in this situation. And the problem is the ending, you also think, okay, but who's actually right here? Like, there's nothing I want to complain about this book. It was just weird. That was all. It was just highly weird to read. But it's not something that I would give 5 stars because I kind of saw the ending coming. I was like, yeah, okay. I figured, you know, there was just a small thing that I was like, no, that is all. I know. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in a video next week. Yeah, bye.